Well, I'm finally gonna get rid of this thing today. Rip it off, throw it in the scrap pile, and start building a new bumper for this thing. It really needs it. So, well, and I'm gonna put a winch in it too, so can't really put a winch on a factory bumper. So hopefully I can fit that thing on there without it looking like, I don't know, something ridiculous. I want it to be nice and tight as I can in. I don't want it to be way out here. I hate bumpers like that. So hopefully I can figure this thing out. I pulled this control box off because it sticks up so far and it's like kind of right in the way. Because with this box on here, it's like it sits up here, so you gotta have the winch super low. So I don't think that would look very good. So I'm trying to keep this up as high as I can. And then now without the box here, I can just easily run wires and then put that thing somewhere else. This is where the remote plugs in, so maybe I could just get rid of that little box completely and make it so there's a little opening for the plug right on the bumper. Yeah, like I could just unscrew this thing here and put this on the bumper instead, and then just get rid of this little box and throw that in the garbage. Well, I'm just trying to find the side profile, how I want this deck, or I mean this bumper to go. Just trying to make it as small as I can, as close as I can to the truck. Because if you make this huge ass bumper coming out off the front, and then it just makes the truck look so tiny, unless you put some big tires on it and lift it up. But this thing's only got 33s on it, and it's stock ride height, so it would ruin it if you put a big dinner table off the front. So I'm trying to make it nice and small. So I'm just trying to get this side profile that I can fit around the winch, and then I want to build basically that side profile over here out of like some 1/4 inch plate or something to bolt on. It goes up there. And then I'll maybe make a plate that goes across underneath that the winch can bolt to, and then this front plate will probably be 1/4 inch too, because it needs to be fairly strong to support these rollers when you're like doing crazy side load and stuff like that. So then I can gusset it all in to the frame, and then the winch will be mounted to the frame like all 1/4 inch stuff, and then the rest of the deck or the rest of the bumper I'll just build out of like 1/8 coming off the sides, so we can save a little bit of weight because it doesn't really need to be insanely strong out there. So you know, I have 2 cardboard templates. I can kind of come in here and eyeball it and just make sure the winch is going to fit and there's no clearance issues anywhere. I'm just working on some designs right now. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it like this, but that's what I came up with so far on off measurements I got from the truck. Well, I got some steel here. This is 7 inch by 3/8 flat bar. I got about 10 feet here. I was going to build this main mounting system here out of this 3/8 flat wire and bolt it all in and everything, and then the piece across the front will be 3/8, and then also the flat piece underneath the winch, and then everything else will probably be 1/8. So I'll just build like, well, it's broken now, but so I'll just build like this piece out of 3/8, and then the whole sides will be 1/8. So you can see I've built the mounting points in the front piece, and the piece that the winch bolts on, and these gussets here will all be nice thick 3/8 steel because you need good support for a winch. that's for sure. And this front one needs to be strong too, because there'll be some rollers bolted on it. And if you hit anything straight on, well, it's just gonna slaughter anything that gets in your way, because there's no way you're bending this. But everything else is just gonna be 1/8. So, I'm just trying to decide if I should weld this centerpiece out completely here first and get the winch bolted in before I go any further, or if I should just tack it real good and build the whole thing. I think I'm gonna weld the whole center out first and get the winch completed and the roller on and everything, just so it's probably easier to move around like that than if I have the sides on it. Just working on marking up my rollers right now. So I'm right in the center there. And the winch is a little bit higher than the center of the rollers too, so because the cable comes out the bottom, so you don't want it going up and then through, so I did account for that. And I'm just gonna throw these little gussets in here too, and I've just measured it. I still have enough room for the relay for this thing here. It used to sit like up here, but I want the bumper to go over that, so it's gonna go in here now instead. And the ground down here, I'm just gonna drill a hole and put a bolt here, so I can put like a 2-inch ground strap here, and then it'll ground through bolting to the frame, because it'll have the 2 factory bolt holes, and then I was gonna put like another 2 in here too. So it'll be 4 bolts straight to the frame, and then I'll throw a extra ground from here down to the frame, and then I just have to run a positive and that's it. Well, I was gonna tap these into here like with some threads, but because the winch sits really close here, there's no room for a bolt. But instead, I think I'm just gonna I just drilled the hole, and then I like drilled a bigger hole only a little bit way through, and then I'm just gonna weld that in there and fill it right up, and then I can grind it flat, and I'll be left with a stud here. I could tap it, but I don't have the right tap, I guess, so I'd have to go to the store, and it's snowing out there. I don't want to go outside, so I'm just going to stay here and weld this instead. Well, now I just got to fill this thing in. Put a piece here, and then a piece here, and then I was going to make it come in slightly on an angle, and then be completely open right here. So if you have like a tangle in your winch or something, you still have some access to it. But my mounts and stuff didn't work, so that's pretty cool, because I just tacked that piece's channel on there, and then I just glued it all together. Well, I tacked on this front piece here, and then this piece here too. This piece was just a piece of scrap actually. You see it wasn't big enough, but I'll just fill that. It's not worth cutting a whole another piece like that out if I can use some scrap and just fill a hole. So that's how that's going, and then I marked this where the grill sits, and then I'm gonna, because there's a winch in here, so I want to have some access if there's like a tangle or something, so I'll probably come up maybe on an angle like this, and then across and back in, and then that'll also give me clearance for this, the hood pickup thing. I just took it off so I could get a better fitment. Usually goes up in here. Well, I'm just starting to get the sides put up here. Just making sure they're all lining up with the headlights and everything before I go any further. But it's looking pretty good. I can't really argue with that. And I got Mitch here helping me too, so it's not too bad. Usually I have to try and muck all this up by myself. So now that I know that this part here and this part here all lines up with the headlight and the grill and everything, now I know everything else that I've built should work pretty good now, so I'm not too worried. Now I can just start cutting away with the rest of my pieces and put them on. Well, let's get the next piece on. This piece that comes along flat here and then bends up. And it seems like everything's lining up pretty damn good, so it's to the point where I think the grill and the headlights are kind of like a little bit out, so it's hard to get it exact, but I mean on camera it looks pretty damn good, that's for sure. Well, I got a couple more pieces I still need to put in there, but it's pretty much what it's gonna look like. I like it. I think it's pretty cool. I'm gonna have to build one for my own truck now. Oh my god. Well, only 2 more triangles to go, and then I'm done. I just gotta weld it all. This one goes somewhere right like that. Get it tacked in there, and then I have one more to go in behind there, and then oh my god, I'm just dropping everything. Now I'm just gonna weld it all out. Hopefully it doesn't warp on me. Well, I'm gonna try and get some lights in this thing now. I think I'm gonna cut them in like right here. Cut like one of these pieces of 4-inch square tubing in there. And then I got some 3x3-inch lights that I'll be able to put in there. And then hopefully I can get it to look all nice with it. Kinda so like this will be in and the light will be like back here, kinda. I don't know. I'll just do it and show you. Well, that's kind of what I'm thinking there. I think that'll work. I just want it to be so when you're kind of looking at it from the side, it doesn't. I mean, if there was nothing here, it would kind of look a little weird, I think. So let's put a light in there. Still gonna have to figure out some sort of mounting system in there, but for now let's just whoa! Oh no. Stay. Something like that. Yeah, nice, that'll work. Well, I got it all done now. All tacked up anyways. Now I'm just gonna pull it off and maybe tack some bits of channel or something onto it just so it doesn't try to warp on me when I'm welding it. But yeah, looks pretty good to me, I think, for the first attempt at this design. I mean, I can't really ask for it to turn out any better than that. It's on the truck and it looks like a bumper, so not bad. Now when I weld it, hopefully it doesn't warp on me or do anything weird. Well, I pulled this thing off real quick, and you see I just tacked on a piece of channel here. I'm just hoping it doesn't like suck in from all the welds, because then it would put me out here and then this would be in further than it should be, or if it like kind of twisted up or down, or I don't want it to twist at all, so just spend a little time here and tack it onto a piece of nice solid steel, and then it can't really go anywhere. Hopefully, anyways. Well, now I just gotta start welding this thing on. It's pretty much the most boring part, in my opinion. Just sit there and weld for hours. Well, after a bunch of grinding, and come up with this. It's not looking too bad, I think. Just about to put it back on the truck and make sure it still fits. Hopefully it does. And then pull it off and like clean this up a little more with like a flap disc, smooth it out, and then I gotta put some mesh in here. And then yeah, I'll probably stop painting it. Get this thing done finally. Well, that'll work, eh? Doesn't look too warped. Well, it didn't warp at all, actually. It's not really done up. The bolts are in there, but they're not tight. It still has a little bit of adjustment. Whoa. But it looks good enough, so I'm gonna rip it off and clean it up a little more with the flapper disc, because it's just really sharp. So I'm gonna smooth it out, make it nice. Put some mesh in here. I don't know what I'm going to use yet. I got to go for a drive and have a look around, see what I can find, and then paint the shit out of it. Well, I'll probably paint the inside black, and then I think I'm going to bed liner the outside the same as the deck, because it'll match pretty well, I think. Because like the deck's like this, and then like the mirrors are kind of the same rough black texture, and same with the doors, so I mean, might as well continue that trend. Come on, focus. There we go. Well, it's the very next morning after spraying it, just letting it dry overnight, and it's looking pretty good. Only rolled it on, nothing special. And I mean, when it's curing, it's got lots of bubbles like coming out to the surface the whole time anyways, so it kind of levels out. So it looks the same either way if you sprayed it or rolled it. So I think I'm going to let that dry for at least another day before I touch it. And we'll slam it on. Well, I got that thing on there. Got the winch working and everything, and the lights all hooked up. It's pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with it. Don't think I'm going to build any trim pieces for under the headlights. I don't think it really needs it. I could always come back and build them later if I wanted to. Just bolt them in. But it's really not that big a deal. But what I was aiming for is like the smallest low profile bumper I could with a winch, and I mean it's not sticking up very far in front of the truck, so looks good to me. Be pretty cool to see it outside. I'll have to take it for a drive up the hill tomorrow, take some photos of it. I like how these lights turned out in there. It's pretty cool. And you got lots of access to your winch. Your winch in here and your free spool thing and the plug. There it is, it's all done. I'm pretty stoked on it. Definitely motivates me to build one for my own truck now. I got all the 3D models and the design and everything like that on my website. If you want to go check it out, optimalwelding.com. I'll put it in the link in the description. But I'm pretty stoked on that, how it turned out. Need to wash this truck though, it's pretty dirty. Damn. Okay, we'll do a walk around the whole truck. It's a pretty clean rig now, I think. I'm liking it. And really fast too.